Welcome to the OC Sports Arena. Today we are going to dive into Europe straight without talking about local football. The big question today is that who is going to win each league in the European top 5 leagues? And the question starts from the England Premier League. Let's get into the story. Now, in the England Premier League, start with a lot of top flights like Arsenal, Chelsea Football Club, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Aston Villa, Tottenham, and the likes. So the big question is that who are the top 5 and who is going to win the Premier League and who are going to make it to the Champions League next season? And let's get into the story. My top 5 are Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Manchester United. So let's dive into the story. If you look at these top 5 teams, they are favorite to win the Premier League because of their new signings and some of them their past records. But let's get into the story. Very, very interesting. Now, if you go to the likes of Manchester United, they built a team, but their team is not that scary. Why am I saying so? Because their team is most built on attack. If you look at Bruno Fernandes, he's an attacking midfielder. If you look at Amad Diallo, he's an attacking winger. If you look at Cunha, he's an attacker. Sesko, a goal scorer. And Brian Mbemu is also an attacker. So how can this team with a lot of attacks going to give a threat in the next season? If you are building a team without good midfield and defense, I'm telling you, bro, no matter how good your keeper is, you will still concede and you are not going to make any good out of it. And I think with this squad that I've listed, I don't think Manchester United are part of the title contenders next season in the England Premier League. Now let's get into their greatest rival, Manchester City. How are Manchester City going to end the season? Now, Manchester City have lost most valuable players like McCarthy. I think this guy has a potential to make it to succeed at Manchester City, but I don't know why Pep Guardiola left him out. Jack Grealish, which I think is inconsistent in the team, so letting him go on loan to Everton is not a bad decision. But there are less of some players who left, which is also bad, like Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is a player that Manchester City should have let go, but they have let him go. So let's see what happened at the end of the day. They've made new signings like Trafford. I don't think this guy is a good goalkeeper. I don't think goalkeeping is Manchester City's problem. There is a need to build up in their midfield, especially after Rodri going into the ACL injury. He has not been back in his good form. So they have to build their midfield, and their defense is just inconsistent. Ruben Diaz injury, Ake injury, there are just a lot of inconsistency in their defense and midfield, but their attack is very good. Now, Doku is good, Haaland is good. I think their front doesn't have a problem like in their midfield and their defense, so they have to build up there too. With this, I don't think Manchester City will be part of the title contenders for next season EPL. Now, let's go next. Next is Liverpool. Liverpool has spent over 290 million euros in this transfer window alone to defend their EPL title. But do you think they are part of the favorite to win it? For me, no. Because if you look, they've not invested in the right place. They've only invested in midfield and then in attack, which I think not having a good defense is also going to cost you a lot. If you look at Virgil van Dijk, who is getting aging day in, day out, should not be a constant starter at this Liverpool team. Ibrahim Konate should not be also a constant starter at this team. I think he should leave this team if he wants, because I don't think he's having the mindset of playing for this team. Now, if you look at the attack, it's very good. Hugo Ekitike, Mohamed Salah, and they let go of Luis Diaz and then Darwin Núñez, which I think Darwin Núñez should have improved in this season. But if you look at his playing in the preseason, he's doing good. Now let's go. If you look at the second team, which I think is Arsenal. Arsenal has a lot of potentials. Arsenal have a lot of quality to win the Premier League next season, because if you look at defensively, they are good. They don't have any rivalry in defense in the whole of Premier League, and now they've still added Masquera in their defense. Look, with Calafiori, with Saliba, like a lot. So Arsenal are going to be a big problem in the Premier League next season. Now, I think they are one of the title contenders, but Liverpool, I'm just no giving them at all. Now to the last and only, Chelsea Football Club, the world champions. And I think Chelsea Football Club are one favorite to win this EPL, if not the champions, because Enzo Maresca, Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro, Pedro Neto, all these players are good quality players we see at the FIFA Club World Cup. Now going to next season, they are going to be unstoppable. The only problem I see in Chelsea is their goalkeeper. I think if they get a good goalkeeper to add to Sanchez, it's going to be an improvement for them. But if they are going to leave Oli Sanchez, it's not going to be good for them. But their defense, Cocorella, Reece James, Cowell, Hato, they add to the team. They are very good. They are very good. I think that every position in Chelsea now is a competition. If you don't play well, you are not going to get into it. If you don't play well, you are not going to get into it. So I see Chelsea and Arsenal Football Club are my two favorites to win the Premier League. But I don't know of you. You can also let me know in the comment section. But what I think is good is that Liverpool cannot defend their title next season with the way they've introduced themselves in the preseason. And look at how they just lost on penalties to Crystal Palace. Look at how Liverpool good it's. Look at spending over 290 million euros in the summer only to sign players. Now to just lose on penalties to Crystal Palace. It's very disgracing. Liverpool should have just won this match on right in front at the beginning because they have all the qualities. Crystal Palace are not that good. So I don't see why the reason why they lose this title. I think this is raise a big question for them. They have to get good defenders and maybe strengthen in their midfield. Anyways, that's what I think about the Premier League. Next up is going to be La Liga and the rest of the teams. So stay tuned for part 2. Alright? Stay safe.